We're starting with something good this week. Yes, hi, hello, welcome to VTubing News. I've noticed these videos tend to start with drama or negative views, mostly because those things tend to require the most explanation, so I like to put them in their own section. But after having to dig through the war zone that was Twitter this last week, I feel like we all deserve a happy story to start off. And what better story to start on than Mint and Dokibird's concert getting a surprise additional guest, with the recently debuted Dooby 3D joining the event with plans for a special collaboration. Now, if you're unfamiliar with Dooby, you've probably been living under a rock for the last few weeks since she's been like the main story everywhere since she debuted. And following said debut, there were a lot of people speculating about potential collabs and events she might be able to do now that she's went fully indie. Hell, one clip of Doki talking about playing zombies with Dooby was enough to almost give the Dragoons a heart attack. Now, for those of you unfamiliar with the concert in question, Phantome Thief's Revenge is a 3D concert between Mint and Dokibird set to take place on December 14th in Atlanta and has so far announced 3 guest talents in Pia, Phoebe and now Dooby. Tickets are still available as of this recording, but if you do want to go, I'd grab them fast, since based on how quick VIP sold out, I don't see them sticking around for long. And honestly, I just wanted to cover this first, since between all the agency drama we're normally stuck with, and unfortunately there is some of that coming up, it's pretty wholesome to see that ex-agency talents can still do awesome stuff like this together even now that they're indies. And why not, let's continue the cool stories trend. Hololive dropped this jump scare of a new group with FlowGlow, a group of 5 new VTubers under Hololive's device branch that I've apparently been mispronouncing as DevIS for like a year, so go me. This is the same branch that Regloss is under, which you might remember since we covered their first anniversary live a month or so ago. Now, a little over a year after that first group's debut, we're getting an entire new group of talents. Now, I'm going to be entirely honest and say I'm not 100% sure what all the differences are between Device as a branch and the rest of Hololive, but from what I can gather, they seem to be much more group theme focused, with Regloss having a big emphasis on idol music and performances and just all around giving off big idol group vibes. From what I've seen so far of the new girls, it looks like they might be a hip-hop focused group, with multiple of them talking about rapping and the fashion sense being kinda fire. Given the banger cover songs they all dropped following their individual debuts though, I can safely say we're in for some amazing music. Also, quick side note, Hololive needs to stop jump scaring me with these debuts, man. Like, there wasn't even 3 full days between the announcement tweet and the debuts. As a fan, that's awesome, but as the news guy, you're gonna give me an aneurysm. Now, for the last thing before we move on to the normal weekly sections, we're gonna talk about Elia leaving V-Dere, which she very rudely announced last Sunday while I was live because she hates me and lives to see me suffer. Elia tweeted out this statement explaining her reasoning for leaving the group, stating that the stress she'd been feeling recently, along with all the stuff she'd been facing both personally and in her work, had led to her spreading herself thin, and that leaving V-Dere was a difficult decision she'd made to try and ease some of the stress she's been feeling. She does reassure everyone that this obviously isn't a goodbye between her and the other girls, and that after their last collab as V-Dere yesterday, they'll still be keeping in touch and collabing here and there. Also, just in case you didn't know, since V-Dere isn't a typical VTubing agency, this isn't a graduation or anything. Elia is still going to be Elia with her IP and everything. V-Dere has always been more of a group of friends than a formal official agency in a lot of ways, so thankfully I don't think this is really any kind of drama, as opposed to her just taking a step back for her mental health. The official V-Dere account tweeted out this statement reaffirming Elia's announcement and talking about things like her merch and voice packs, before finally wishing her the best in her departure and asking people to show her support. While it is kinda sad to see her leave, I'm happy she's taking steps to ease her burnout, though I would have been happier if she'd done it literally any other day of the week, and you can be assured she got a very angry midstream DM from your local newsman. Now for even more positive news, and god, the last bit of this video is gonna suck, we've got the weekly debuts and outfits. Starting off, we had First Stage Production announcing their 2nd generation of VTubers, Ravenous, which I really unfortunately mispronounced as Ravanus in my short because I'm ooped. This generation has 5 new guys set to debut on the 15th and 16th of next week. First Stage has definitely been cooking recently with Avalon and their 3D debuts, so I'm excited to see what this new gen is like. Also debuting next week on the 16th and 17th is Globy's 3rd generation Hexakai. The gen was initially meant to be debuting this weekend, but they pushed it back to make sure it was the best it could be. Kiara revealed her Mirage 3D model. Zentrea teased her upcoming outfit with 3 different images across Twitter, Blue Sky and Insta. I'm showing you the Blue Sky one because it's probably the least likely to get me in trouble. Rose Doodle announced her 3D debut set for next Tuesday, and May announced her debut happening on the 22nd of this month. Noah Talent announced the debuts of Raven Project's 1st generation Primordia. I know that's a lot of names, so if you're out of the loop, Noah Talent is the English branch of an existing Chinese MCN called Metashon, which you may have heard before given its links to a lot of VTuber Billy channels. It looks like Primordia is going to be their 1st generation of talents as part of this overarching Raven project. This gen featuring 3 existing VTubers that you may recognize, with Sayu, Rita and Ria set to debut under the agency on the 15th of November next week. Now, for the weekly events and releases, we're going to start with Hololive, where Fubuki had a 3D live to celebrate her birthday and announced her first ever solo live concert, Phantome, set to take place in February of next year. Zeta had a 3D jazz show to celebrate her birthday. Kali announced an upcoming collaboration with Starseed. The details were released for the Hololive Stage World Tour at Comic Fiesta this December. And I can't speak the language, so grain of salt and everything, but from what I can tell, some Hololive members actually voiced for the Japanese dub of the new Venom movie. If anyone gets the opportunity to see it, please let me know how it was, because that sounds hilarious. Dokibird was at Komifuro this weekend. Shoto showed off his bleed purple statue. Sayu released her first figure, and Rexon had his roast of Rexon, which your boy got to be a part of. The website for Arium US went live earlier this week in preparation for their launch of November 15th. We've talked a bit about Arium in previous weeks. They're an app-based vertical streaming platform designed specifically for VTubers that currently has a few talents lined up to debut on the app. This is going to be tangentially relevant for a later drama thing, so I just figured I'd include the info here. Idol Genesis is having a 3D concert that was set to be a couple days ago but was pushed back to the Monday. Ruby Runeheart announced her 72-hour donathon. VANU Serenity announced her VTuber Survival Games, which is set for the 22nd of November. And dear god, I haven't thought about survival games in a minute, that's some nostalgia. Face Connect is going to be at Anime Frontier this December. Lucid is having their first karaoke relay tomorrow. V4 Mirai opened their auditions again, and you know, I really think I have a shot this time, guys. Nijisanji announced their 7th anniversary live overture that's set to take place at NijiFest 2025. That's Nijisanji's annual convention that they host in Japan, usually around the time of their anniversary. This live taking place on the 24th of February next year and featuring both EN and JP talents. Filian's VTuber Awards have opened up their nominations again, and a bunch of VTubers are campaigning for the various awards in by far the most important election process this week. Now, as the news guy, I should really be unbiased and fair, but you should know my friend Tippy is shooting for the Hidden Gem category and also got hit with a second BS Twitch ban this week, so do with that info what you will. Wink wink nudge nudge. This year's awards are going to be co-hosted by Shy Lily, who also posted about this new Cupathon event she and Gamersubs came up with, which is like a donathon, but you can raise the timer by buying merch or giving merch to other random chatters. And this is a very subtle time to thank you guys for using code PEN. Hey, it's not an ad if it's slightly related to the story. And now for song time, we had vshojo posting this Disney villain mashup, V4's Rem doing a jazz cover of Daddy Daddy Do, Kana covering Beat Eater, 3 Regloss members dropped a cover together, VNU Spectra covered the opening of Elfin Lead, 3 of the production Kawaii girls dropped this original song, Kawaii's Yuno also dropped an original song, Nijisanji's Maria, Finana and Aik covered Pinky, Doppio and Rosemi covered Meltic Hell, Narissa's cover of Espresso drops on the 15th, Iron Mouse covered the Dandadan opening, which has been stuck in my head for like the last month, and Idol's Encore released this cover of Booty Shorts. And now, well, you knew it couldn't all be good news for a week. We've got the weekly drama, graduations and hiatuses. The first thing we're going to talk about is Anilive. Now, first and foremost, I want to shout out this video by Karma, who was set to be an Anilive talent in this wave that we're going to talk about, but left and made this video explaining the situation after all the drama. It's super in-depth and well made with sources and all that, so if you're interested, the link will as always be below. I'm going to just briefly summarize the situation as best I can. So Anilive is another VTuber specific mobile streaming app, kind of like Arium that we talked about earlier in the video. It was founded by the former Prism Project CEO and released earlier this year. You might recognize it as the app that the Nexus members debuted and stream on. As part of their startup as a platform, they created this Jumpstart program, a way for creators to sign up, get an avatar to stream with, and get right into streaming without having to deal with the pretty insane startup costs that VTubing can have if you need to commission your own model. From what I can tell, Volume 1 went pretty well, but Anilive started getting some backlash after the reveal of their Volume 2 avatars, which some say look AI generated. You can see some examples here. You might notice I'm using the term avatar since these technically aren't fully rigged models. Instead, they're PNGs that Anilive has automatically animated using some internal software they're developing to turn any PNG into something kinda halfway between a reactive PNG and a VTuber model. This isn't entirely new since I believe Arium also has a similar thing on their app, though I've heard theirs is a bit more advanced. Unfortunately, screenshots of these models with this automated tracking didn't help the AI accusations, and look, I'm not an artist and I'm quite frankly horrible at picking out AI art from normal art. Anilive themselves has rejected the claims that they use AI art, and it looks like the PNGs they commissioned for Volume 2 may have been done by an external studio, so some of the AI artifacts might just be rushed art from people trying to do a lot of commissions at once, or maybe the studio they commissioned used AI without telling them. That being said, Anilive's parent company does have some AI jobs on their LinkedIn, though those do appear to be for a separate project. Honestly though, I'd be surprised if the rigging technology they use isn't based on some form of AI. This backlash obviously led to a few of the Volume 2 talents stopping their debut reviews, including Karma, who goes into more detail in her video about how behind-the-scenes communication was horrible, with staff members ghosting her and providing overall very little actual support. I won't go into too much detail on that since that's her story, but again, the link to that video is below and I would recommend you check it out. Now, for a quick update to the Camilla situation we talked about last week, turns out that the guy that tried to break in found her by sneaking a tracking device into a convention gift. Now, I probably don't have to tell you how creepy and invasive that is, or how understandably VTubers are probably going to be a bit more restrictive on convention gifts going forward. I just personally hate that one creepy dude took advantage of what was meant to be a wholesome interaction. Chances are every other gift she got was perfectly innocent, but now because of one weirdo, the entire thing has been soured. This is why we can't have nice things. Graduation wise, we obviously had some of the idol talents saying goodbye next week following the idol Brave merge a few months back. Nijisanji's Victoria had her last stream earlier in the week, and Nexus's Perseus announced their graduation. Nijisanji's FlowGlow is going on hiatus for personal reasons, and Pinky2 made the mistake of streaming as a VTuber on Twitch and immediately got banned. Also, vshojo just put out this teaser image for something. I don't know what it's for, maybe a new talent, but there you go. So you might have noticed this video is out a day later than usual. I did a poll on the channel about changing up posting times, since trying to do the short video and stream all in one day was a bit much to say the least. I'll try Monday vids out for a bit, but if you guys prefer Sundays, I can probably figure something out. As always, thanks to all my members, and if I missed anything this week or you want me to cover anything next week, just let me know down below or hop in the Discord. I'll catch you guys in a week.